Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mayor Pete Sines, Chair of the MPO. It's the Laredo Webb County Area Metropolitan Planning Organization Policy Committee by way of virtual meeting. And you all can join us live web link, and it's laredotx.swagit.com/forward-live. And also, you can view us through the public access channel, Spectrum TV channel 1300. Today is September 21st, 2020, and it's 1:32 p.m. So I am calling this meeting to order. Can I have a roll call, please?
Gracie, can you call that roll for us, please?
Yes. Good afternoon. Honorable Mayor Pete Sines.
Present.
Honorable Norman Elivielma. Honorable Dr. Marta Martinez.
Present.
Honorable George Algett. Judge Tano Tijerina. Jesse Gonzalez, Commissioner. Commissioner John Gale. Mr. David Salazar.
Present.
Mr. Humberto Tito Gonzalez.
Present.
And ex officio, Honorable Judith Saffirini, Richard Raymond, Tracy King. For the record, you do have a quorum.
We have a quorum, so moving forward. Thank you very much. The next item is citizens' comments. Do we show anyone that called in or signed up?
Mayor, nobody signed up. There is a lag, so if we can give it about 30 seconds. And in the meantime, if I can just announce, as always, that if you're not speaking, to mute your mic really helps with the feedback. If you forget, I may occasionally mute you. Don't mean to be rude, just trying to keep the best audio quality for the public and the recording that will take place. And I believe that's it. So we just need a few more, 10 more seconds, 15 more seconds. We'll see if anybody calls in. Our staff will alert us if they do.
Okay, moving on then to item Roman numeral 4. That's item requiring policy committee action, and that's approval of the minutes for the virtual meeting held on August the 17th.
So moved, Mayor.
There's a motion by Dr. Marta Martinez. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, there's a second by Mr. David Salazar. Discussion? None heard. All those in favor say aye, or just raise your hands.
Aye.
Any against? Same sign. Sound out if you oppose this. None heard. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Excuse me. The next item is item B, motion to approve and adopt the Laredo Transit Management, Inc., which is otherwise known as LTMI, Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan and Safety Performance Targets, and to incorporate into the Metropolitan and statewide planning process with the Laredo Metropolitan Planning Organization. Mr. Salazar, or who's going to sponsor this?
Mayor, if I may ask, we have Claudia San Miguel, the transit director, on. If we can have her share the background on this.
Absolutely. Ms. San Miguel, welcome. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Claudia San Miguel, General Manager for Metro. This item is just to make the final approval to incorporate our public transportation safety plan into the MPO programs. Basically, FDA require for all transit agencies to have a safety plan that meets all the requirements. El Metro, or that of the City of Laredo, LTMI plan has been already certified by the state amongst one of the first few transit agencies that accomplished this landmark. So the plan is ready and set for approval and incorporation into the MPO plans.
Mr. Snyderman, Mr. Mayor, may I be recognized?
Sure. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Just quick, I'm going to ask another question, but shouldn't this say Laredo, isn't this Webb Area Metropolitan Planning Organization now, or Laredo and Webb County?
Well, it is, but this is, the motion doesn't, I mean, we can refer to ourselves by a few different names, and we call
Okay.
it, you know, as an acronym, as a kind of conjunction, it's often said Laredo MPO or Laredo Area MPO. But yes, the official name of the MPO, when we use it in any document, will read Laredo and Webb County Area.
Thank you. Mr. San Miguel, this safety plan, where can we find this safety plan? Where can the public see it?
Well, it is provided in our packet, which was published out to the public and is on our website. So
So it's-
that's one place.
Okay, so it's on the website. No, I saw it in the packet. I just want to see where the public can see it so they can look at that as well. So it's under the planning or the MPO or under the El Metro website.
For the MPO, it's published as part of the packet, and that's available to the public. If
Okay.
Ms. San Miguel might be able to answer if it's located in another place online.
Yes, good afternoon. We can upload this into the El Metro website.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I just want the public to see how much work goes into providing safety and the safety standards for the public transportation system, and the great job you guys are doing in this. So I was just curious if we could see those metrics, or the public could see the metrics, I should say, and the performance targets going forward. And also, when will we look at this? And again, will this be 6 months from now, a year from now, that we actually look at all these metrics and find out how we're doing?
The recommendation as review with the technical committee was for us to present quarterly reports that can most certainly come back to the policy committee for review as well.
Okay. Motion to approve and adopt the Laredo Transit Management Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan.
Okay, there's a motion to approve and adopt as presented by Dr. Martha Martinez. Do we have a second? And I would second that. Discussion. None heard. Motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Raise your hands. Any opposed? Sound off or none heard. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Moving on to item C. And this motion to accept the ranking of firms that submitted proposals in response to the request for qualification, RFQ, invitation issued for the development of the comprehensive operations analysis of El Metro project and authorized contract negotiation fee. Yes, again, most probably Mrs. San Miguel. Ms. San Miguel.
Yes, Mayor. I don't know if I should defer this to Chair B, because they're the one that actually conducted the process, the procurement process. I was one of the scoring persons, so I'd rather allow him to go through this.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, Mr. Snyderman, yes, please go ahead.
Sure, yes. As you may recall, in our work plan for the year, for the fiscal year, one of the things we wanted to do was provide some planning grant funds to El Metro to do a comprehensive operation analysis. And just as a reminder, Claudia, can you remind us what that comprehensive operations analysis will do for El Metro?
The last one completed was in 2013, if I recall correctly.
And what is that? What are you hoping the comprehensive operations analysis will do for El Metro?
Well, the a comprehensive analysis is, it's basically like its name describes, it's going to be a complete evaluation of the transit system, primarily on the fixed route services. We all understand and realize the need to declutter all the bus routes coming all the way downtown and out to the city. That obviously takes a lot of our capacity when it comes to the fleet. A lot of the routes are overlapping, and at the same time, like I say, it does not allow us to better service some of the new areas that might be in need of public transportation. So the goal will be to reevaluate the transit needs, and more than anything, the transit-dependent population of the different areas of the city, so we can better serve them. So it's going to involve a lot of surveying, a lot of analysis, a lot of data gathering, so we can most likely reroute a lot of the services as we have them right now. It should incorporate the much needed outside hubs, both for the south and the northwest part of the city. So that would enable, like I said, stopping the bringing all the buses all the way downtown. And at the end, the expected outcome will be for us to free up some of the equipment, some of the buses, so we can service new areas.
Thank you, Ms. San Miguel. Yes, it's a great opportunity taking this project forward to really do a comprehensive look at how El Metro is operating and look for opportunities, look for improvements, and everyone is going to be involved in this process. There will be a significant amount of public outreach, as Ms. San Miguel stated. And so I'm excited about this. And again, this is the planning grant funds come from the federal government through the state and allow us to operate. It's how the MPO gets funded. It's what we use to pay for our staff and everything we need. But we can also use that money to do special projects. And the MPO agreed that this was a good place to put some money. And so Ms. San Miguel requested it, and the MPO Policy Committee voted to do that. So this was the next step. The next step, we issued an RFQ. We said, who wants to help us with this? We got two teams that applied, and it was very close, but the winner was, or the firm that received the highest evaluation was Stantec Consulting. They're a large firm. They have a great reputation. In my opinion, they have strengths, and like any firm, they have weaknesses. This is one of their strengths. Doing this kind of analysis that has a heavy analytical side, it is good to have their experience that looking over many different transit operations over many different states and regions. They really have a lot of good experience to bear. And then at the same time, we're going to be very involved in the public outreach part of this to make sure we get good public input on how El Metro is operating and where improvements can possibly be made. So that's what we're bringing to you today, is the ranking and the acceptance of Stantec as our consultant to move forward. If you agree, we'll start negotiating with them, and then we'll bring that back for final approval.
Mr. Snyderman?
Yes, sir.
Now, I noticed here, in reading the packet, this is, who put this packet together? Is this you guys that did this?
Yes, sir. Our staff put this together.
This was incredibly complicated and well done. And it kind of, I feel like you guys already figured out where the deficiencies are, you're talking everywhere from fare analysis, what you're trying to do, an understanding of the project. This is very well done. So what is this firm going to do then? They're going to look at the routes themselves, times, distances. What are we looking for here? Because you already did gap analysis, networking planning, hubs planning. Everything's on this thing that you guys put together.
Well, those are things we've done in the past. We had our last comprehensive operations analysis in 2013, so it is time to update it. It's been 7 years. Things have changed. There's new technology. There's the city has grown. There's new needs. So we're going to do all those things again. But to keep it simple, there's two main parts of this. There's the analytical operational side, looking at the budget, looking at El Metro's budget. What are they spending it on? Where are the routes? What are the times? All those numbers, calculating all that, doing those kind of analyses that are going to get very technical. And then there's the public input part, going out and saying, okay, we can tell you how long it takes to get from A to B, but what is the rider experience like? what are your thoughts on how do you enjoy using it? Why do you choose to use it? Why do you choose not? Those kind of more subjective things that you really can't get unless you get out there and get the public's input. So those are the two big parts we're doing, and it is an update from a previous plan, so we'll have something to build on from previous.
Okay, and one other question, are they both local firms?
They both incorporated local elements.
Not one more than the other?
That would be hard to say. I'd have to take a look at it, but they both have a local component, I believe.
And how close were they, if you don't mind me asking?
They were, let's see, let me look up the packet. Well, there's only two firms, and they were first and second.
No, I know, but I mean point-wise is what I mean. I apologize. I'm just trying to keep. I'm trying to keep things local if possible, and I don't know if there's a difference between that.
I appreciate that, and I as well think it's important to. That weighs heavily on me when I evaluate something. To have that local component. However, I have to stress on this project, it is very, very important to have a firm that has a vast experience. We benefit greatly from a firm that has vast experience working with transit in different regions, knowing the expertise in and out. Not that they just can do analytical stuff. I mean, that knowing transit is a very, very niche. And that's why, I would say it's very important to, I think the choice we made here was a good one. I really feel strongly Stantec is the way to go on this particular project.
Do you have the scoring? Can we see the scoring?
Yes, the scoring was it was a 537 to 522.
537 to 522. Okay. All right. Motion to accept, if that's okay.
Second.
Yeah, there's a motion, a second. Yeah, discussion. I know you that study or this evaluation here. My unofficial review or analysis is when I'm driving to City Hall and on Houston Street, and I view buses with only, these are buses, mind you, that are going to to the central bus station there. And just a few riders there, 5, 6 at the most. So hopefully this study will evaluate ridership as well and see how best we can maximize, a huge bus with only 4 or 5 people. Maybe it's just the same route that I see. But even throughout town, I pay close attention to the buses, those bigger buses. And again, I don't see a half full or 3/4 full. It's just a handful. So that's something that hopefully this evaluation, this analysis will show us why such few ridership. At least in my opinion. There could be other routes, but anyway, it's just something for you all to keep in mind.
Yeah, Mayor, you bring up a great point. Those are things we're going to explore. And transit it's not always intuitive. It sometimes can take you a direction you didn't expect. For instance, having worked on some routes in specific in the past in other cities, you often find on some of your best potential routes that if you increase the frequency, so you see less people on a bus, you think, hey, we don't need a bus to come this often because there's only a few people. But if you do the opposite, if you actually add more buses to come more frequently, more people use it, and you actually find you fill up more users per bus than if you were to go the opposite direction. In other words, people don't use it because it's not reliable enough, it's not frequent enough. So I'm really excited to have a good firm that's got a lot of good experience looking at other metro areas, understands those. And I'm also going to be doing a little bit of my own research here. Tomorrow I'm selling my vehicle, and I'm going to go vehicleless for a certain period of time to experience what it's like in Laredo to live without a car and just using my bicycle and the bus to get around. So
Wow.
You're going to get some big calves, brother. Big calves. That's what's going to happen. It looks like Councilwoman Nelly Vielma is here, and also Council Member George Algo, for the record, Mayor. They joined us.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you for the record.
Yeah,
presence.
Thank you.
And on that item, I would like to ask, if I may, Mayor,
to have a comparison since the bridges closed down. What is the ridership? Because we don't know if it's primarily people that come from Mexico that were using in some of the routes, the transportation, and also how is the impact of the circulators that Councilmember Algild and Councilmember Marte have implemented throughout our districts, to see if maybe that's a better investment of monies, while we don't have a route right now that covers directly to the north, because that's another another one of the drawbacks that we have currently with the routes we have.
Mayor, both of those issues are on our mind and definitely will get addressed. Luckily, we have a lot of data from every year. Metro collects, we have so much data. So we will be able to see, we are aware that there is an effect of the current COVID on demand. And so we will definitely take that into, we won't be just using data from this year, in other words.
Mayor, also for the record, Judge Tijerina is here. I don't think we had heard him, but Donald Tijerina is here.
Hey, Judge, how are you? Well, yeah, welcome again. And let the record reflect that we have those three people, Judge Tijerina and Councilmember Vilma and Councilmember George Algild. Yeah, if there's no further discussion, I'm going to call for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Sound off, please. None heard. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. The next. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Mayor, I appreciate it. I just want to make sure. Did they not hear me when I said here while I was getting roll called?
No.
Gracie, did you take down?
I might have had one. I'm sorry. I have two mute buttons. I apologize. I said here. I said here. Hello, everyone. I guess I was talking to myself. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Judge.
Hey, Judge.
Yeah, now we hear you, Judge. Okay. Moving forward. The next item is item D, discussion of possible action on the Chad Ruthinger. Do we have anything else to report? And this is usually given by Luis Garcia.
Good afternoon. This is Guillermo Coyat, Assistant County Engineer. Just as a brief follow-up, we are proceeding with the environmental document reports. Our consultant is working with TxDOT. They've done some updates in referencing to some comments TxDOT has made, specifically to surface water analysis, traffic noise report, and wetland delineation reports. Basically, that's an update as far as Webb County is concerned.
And what are, Mr. Mayor, if I may?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
And what are what is it that we're seeing with regard to TxDOT's inquiries? Where do we stand on those different issues?
Pretty much what TxDOT has commented have been minor. Our consultants has responded to them and submitted the work, and they're just kind of working with them, concurrently reviewing, and if they need to make any changes, they do so. But as of now, everything is going well. There's nothing, I guess, impacting.
Okay, of those issues related to wetlands and hydrology, I mean, in your experience as an engineer, anything there that's unsurmountable? Is this just, is it typical for them to ask these types of questions given the circumstances of the floodplain?
Yes, it's pretty much typical information. There have been some laws that were changed, and our consultant adjusted them to the new current standards. And that's basically what they did with the wetlands report.
I'm sorry, which laws in particular were changed?
I'm not too familiar with the exact laws. I can get it for you, but that's pretty much the new rule that came out about a year ago, and they basically following those new rules. So, but I can get the
Councilmember Algild, if I may, I think it's the waters of the Americas. Is that correct? And so now, under the Trump administration, a lot of that has been taken away, and so you don't have to do a mitigation plan in certain things. And so I think that may change, but right now I think that there is none of these waters of the America where you damage a creek, you have to repair it kind of deal. I think that's.
Yeah, I believe it's called the Navigable Waters Rule.
Okay, and thank you for the clarification. In anything else that's slowing this project down that we need to be aware of?
No, sir, not at the moment.
And are you adequately equipped to answer those questions that TxDOT has?
As far as, do I know all the details, or am I
Yeah.
licensed to answer them? Is that what you mean?
Yes, sir.
I'm not an environmentalist, but I can review the documents and have some experience with it and answer some questions, I guess.
Okay.
No, but I think the question was, if you know something so significant that it may slow down the project. I think the only question.
Yeah.
Yes, if I am aware of anything that will prohibit the project from moving forward, I will let everyone know.
Okay, there was a there's a lingering question that I've been asking on title. And I think Mr. Ramon Chavez has been visiting with the CHAD trustee, but I get the feeling that it's being worked through and that we shouldn't worry too much. But if Ramon Chavez is... Yes, sir, Harry.
This is Ramon Chavez, if I may. I can speak to that.
Sir, go ahead, please.
Yes. So as far as the report from the most recent from Mr. Van Steenberg, all the documents are complete, Mayor, now, and they're currently circulating them for signature. After that, they're sending it to the title company for notarization of all parties, and they feel that they're going to have them signed by the end of the month to file as records.
Okay, wonderful. So this should clear the alignment, correct? So whatever right away.
That is correct, Mayor. Then after that, they'll go into surveying the property to get the exact meets and bounds, and they feel that they should have it transferred so that the beach property in the chart hands within 5 to 6 weeks after that.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, good news. Thank you, Ramon, for staying on top of that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, do we have any other comments or questions?
That's all I've got. Please continue to proceed as efficiently and quickly as you can.
Okay, there's no action required. I don't believe. So moving on. Yes.
This is Luis Perez Garcia, Webb County engineer. There was also going to be a statement from the TxDOT folks regarding the process. I believe Roberto Rodriguez was going to provide additional information on the TxDOT side for the discussion regarding the Charles Ruthinger and its progress. Is Roberto available to give us the update that was going to be coming through? We discussed this in the technical meeting last week, but I don't know if Mr. Rodriguez is available for that.
Is Mr. Rodriguez available?
Yes, sir. Roberto Rodriguez with TxDOT. Yes, during the technical meeting, we discussed the possibility, of TxDOT taking over the design of the PSNE for this project. Also, there has been some talks with the administration about this road should be brought into our on system, on system highway. Now, so far, the response we got brief responses is okay. We need to straight miles per miles. So the request that we start coordinating with the city, and talking about which roadways will the city take.
Roberto, this is David.
Yes.
Thank you for joining me. Let me jump in real quick and provide a couple of comments before moving forward. A couple of concerns that not necessarily concerns, a couple of pending issues that we have with the current Hot-Shot Ruthinger project. First of all, Mayor, if I may, the advanced funding agreements that are in place right now includes one for the 5-mile portion of the City of Laredo. We currently do not have an AFA in place for the 3-mile portion with the county, nor do we wish to have 2 separate AFAs. We rather deal with one. I know some discussions have been held between the city and the county along those lines, and then that's something that we would like to resolve. Now, in talking to Mr. Rodriguez was about, there has always been a desire from the city and ourselves that eventually this road would be handed over to the TxDOT on-system roadways in sometime in the future, which is conversations that we should be having now, reaching out. So the process becomes, and it came into play when it came to the design of the project. I know that the county is now responsible for that, and I don't recall what the exact amount or portion of that design cost is per the estimate that was provided on the current AFA. But at this point, TxDOT was looking at taking over the design of that roadway and providing that, as well as perhaps down the road, the construction inspection. That led to other conversations as, when this system was done into the on system for TxDOT. And those conversations are something that we are working through now. We do not have definite answers. There's a lot of parameters, a lot of variables that we still have to iron out. We are having conversations with administration as to what is the best way fit to get this accomplished. There's several scenarios that would rather not discuss at this point until we have some clear-cut answers. But I would be happy to try to answer any questions or comments that any of the members may have on their route to your child and bringing this project on system and letting TxDOT take over the design of this project.
Okay, let me just expand on that a little bit, because maybe some of the council members were not privy to a discussion. Maybe we had it previously here at the MPO or a sidebar discussion that we could have had. I know the judge was involved in that, because I did ask the judge. But yet the crux of this is for TxDOT to make it online. Of course, they would have to take it over, take the Chad Ruthinger project over as far as the construction phase or whatever phases remain, I think. And for them to take that over, they were asking that the city of Laredo and possibly the county of Webb take over some of their responsibilities. And if I recall, David, Mr. Salazar, you were saying that the San Bernardo Avenue, which is a TxDOT online, I guess, or system that you all now handle and have been handling for a while, that the city should absorb that, and also part of the Clark Boulevard, I think closest to the loop, I-69 or the Loop 20. And then there was another segment, that segment, what's it called, from 359 to Zapata Highway. It's now called that agent that died. Yeah. So that segment, I proposed that if the city would absorb, and I'm not saying that the city will, but if that the county, since the county and the city have been partnering this, Chad Ruthinger, that the county should take some responsibility as well as a partner, as a good partner that we've been, and that maybe the county should take responsibility for that section from 359 up Loop 20 to 83. That's Zapata Highway, and that's where. So I informed Robert Eads, our city manager. So I don't know, when you say administration, Mr. Salazar, David, is it the city administration or is it the TxDOT administration that you're referring to?
Mayor, I apologize for that. It was TxDOT administration, and while I am in like the conversation that we're having, I think the beginning stages of this is to first figure out how to bring it online. At what point? I know eventually we will be discussing turn back to certain roadways. But the conversations that I would like to have or begin with are be available to us as far as how do we get this accomplished for the city of Laredo, the county, and for TxDOT. Follow that route first. There's several concerns that we're trying to figure out when it comes with the federal dollars, where it comes to the TxDOT administration, and how we can legally do this, since it is dealing with two simple entities, the county and the city. So there's quite a bit of answers yet that I would like to cement or concrete and get a final answer before we can move further into the discussions about what portions, what responsibilities, and whatnot. But certainly it is a good idea. There are ways that do benefit the city of Laredo as well as TxDOT, but at some point the connectivity where TxDOT on system, they're just not serving that purpose anymore. But that is certainly something that we would like to entertain at some point down the future. We can start talking about. But again, I think right now the focus should be what direction to take as far as when is a good point to take this roadway over, either from a conception or waiting until it's completed and handing it over to us. So I know it's a very general answer. I don't have a lot of answers right now. I have more questions than answers, but I am working on those. And as soon as we can get those, I will be happy to come back and present our ideas to the council, to the committee.
Okay, but also too, I would suggest that you visit with Robert Eads. So if the city's going to have to be involved, obviously Robert and Kirby and those folks would have to have a say as well. Okay. Do we have any questions? Yeah, thank you, David. Yeah, do we have any other questions or comments from the committee people? And if not, I guess we move on to the next item, which is just reports and presentations. And the item is under Roman numeral 5A. And of course, that's welcoming Humberto Tito Gonzalez Jr., who is now filling in the private sector member at large, a position on the policy committee. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, for serving as well, and we look forward to your expertise and your contributions as well. And congratulations. And it means more work for you, more stress. Also, too, moving on then, if there's no other comments from the committee people, moving on to B, status report by the Regional Mobility Authority, RMA. They usually provide a written report. And do we have someone that may give a verbal report? I guess not.
Mayor, I think he's muted. Tony Rodriguez.
Apologize. I apologize.
Hey, Tony.
I had a double mute on. Mr. Mayor, thank you. Thank you so much. Pleasure to be back. Tony Rodriguez, for the record, with HTV Corporation, representing the Webb County City of Laredo Regional Mobility Authority. Good afternoon, everybody. Always a pleasure to present in front of this body. So my report will be very brief. So with the RMA, what we have going on currently is Killam Industrial Boulevard turn lanes. That project has been 100% complete in design. We've been working with the Laredo District and their support to move forward to letting. That project is scheduled for letting in November, and we are still on track in that regard. Next project, of course, is the Los Presidentes project from Cuatro Vientos to Concord Hills. That project has already gone through 100% review by the one-stop shop City of Laredo. And we are working with the city engineering department to resolve the comments and push that project forward to advertisement. We're looking to advertise hopefully in October, so we can get that project to construction in January. And also, we are also providing our 60% plan for the acceleration and deceleration lane component of Cuatro Vientos to the Texas Department of Transportation, Laredo District, this week. And TxDOT, of course, will be looking to push that project forward for construction after we complete Los Presidentes. Next project, of course, is the Vallecillo Road project. With that project, the traffic study for that project is ongoing. We're looking to complete the traffic study by November of this year. And also, of course, move forward to begin discussions with the Texas Department of Transportation Commission with regards to funding of that project. Last, but definitely not least, is in regards to our next board meeting. We are looking to have a board meeting in early October. And of course, everyone in this committee, of course, will receive an invitation to that so that they can attend and listen in via WebEx. Any questions? Any comments?
Do you have any questions or comments for the gentleman? I guess not. I guess you covered it.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Oh, yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. I'm getting a lot of feedback here. Okay, the question is, when is the Killam Industrial 1472? When is design going to be completed?
The design's complete, Councilman, and actually it's already moving forward to advertisement letting in November. So that project has been completed.
Okay, and there's no impediment, nothing slowing this project down?
No, sir. No, sir. The Laredo District's been very supportive and as a partner to push this project forward. So,
I'm sorry, who is supportive?
Laredo District, Textile Laredo District, Mr. Salazar and Tito Gonzalez and their team are very good partners, and we're pushing this project forward. So there's no impediments with the project.
Awesome. And then as far as the, is there any right-of-way acquisition? It's kind of a rhetorical question, but just for the public, can you tell us a little bit about the right-of-way acquisition?
Yes. There was a right-of-way donated by the kiln company to the city of Laredo as part of the project. And that item is largely complete. Now I believe it's going to be scheduled for council approval, I believe, because it's going to be an actual donation, formal donation. And I want to say it's the 7th of October is what that's scheduled for.
That's the council meeting that we should be looking forward to the donation on.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this for a clarification. Are we talking about the turning lanes, or are we talking by a CEO?
The turning lanes.
Turning lanes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just strictly the turning lanes. Okay, then.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What about on the west side of 1472? Are there some donations that are going to be made on that side?
No, sir. No. There's really, on the west side of 1472, we're replacing a signal pole in that area, but there's no right-of-way acquisition required.
Okay, and so donation implies that the kilns are making the donation, free and clear, even though it eats into their driveway or their parking spaces.
Yes, currently that particular lot is empty, and they're making that donation to the city of Laredo with no cost.
Okay, outstanding. Well, good to know. Wish we had another, handful of donors up and down the 1472 corridor, but I digress. And then, as it relates to Vallecillo, I think you touched on it, but where are we at? Is there also a donation forthcoming there as well?
Yes, if you recall, Councilman, I believe the kiln company has provided 2 letters over the last, since 2015, I think one in 2016, and then 2 years later, basically promising a donation of the right-of-way, 150 feet from 1472 to I-35 northbound frontage road for that particular project.
And has TxDOT, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and that's where it stands. At the moment, it's pending final donation of the project moving forward and fully funded for construction. Basically, that's the issue. That's the thing with Vallecillo.
And this question, feel free to field it, Mr. Salazar, as well. But has there been any further development with regard to pass-through financing on the Vallecillo?
Yeah, so that's where we stand at this point now, Councilman. Now that we've got a signed a local agreement with the city of Laredo, the kiln company is signing our memorandum of understanding with the RMA. And now with the executed agreements, the next steps is for the RMA to approach the Transportation Commission and begin those discussions to present the project and request basically discretionary funding to complete the financial gap that we have to move the project forward.
And what's your ETA on presenting to the commission?
I believe when we presented in August, Councilman, we were looking at starting that work early next year, I believe. I have to go back and look at my notes in that regard, but it's very much forthcoming.
Okay, and so then the upcoming legislative session rolls around come January 2021. Do I have that correct? Give or take?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's usually like on March of 2021, I believe, when
the party gets started. Okay, so And this, I don't know necessarily if we need to take action. This will be after my watch has ended. But for those of you that are going to stick around for the party, I think it would be wise for us to coordinate with Mr. Salazar as well as the city's delegation on that run, along with our paid lobbyists, so that we can get as fair of a representation across the public-private sectors to make a pitch for that project. I don't think I need to sell you on the importance of it, but I'm hoping that you all will take that into consideration come March 2021. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, let me just kind of summarize. Maybe you can help me too, Councilmember Algelt and Tony Rodriguez. Yeah, the structure of this is that the Killims will donate the right-of-way, plus also provide monies up to what was it? And I don't want to misspeak here. 5 million. And then the city of Laredo, I think. Then the city of Laredo, and correct me here too, because it's been a while, has also 5 million as well. And then the RMA was going to million as well, plus plus the technical. They're covering any of the engineers or whatever, or from the monies. Yeah.
That's part of it, but yeah, in general, it's $4 million that the RMA be putting forward, also covering all the project development costs.
Okay, so we have 15 million. The Killims, RMA, and the city. That's 15. So what's the difference in how much are we asking above the 15 million from TxDOT? Is it another 5 or 6 or?
No, sir. No, not at all. It's if memory serves correctly, we're looking at around 13, 14 million. I believe what we were asking for TxDOT.
Okay, just so the committee can have a pretty good idea of what the gap is. Yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry, I misspoke. My colleague Melissa Montemayor just texted me correctly. It's 17.5 million. It shows you what kind of engineer I am. I miscalculated that one. So 17.5 is the gap.
And of course, we're talking a concrete right-of-way, correct? In a concrete pavement?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, 5-lane section with a median, as well as hike and bike, sidewalks, continuously reinforced concrete pavement to handle heavy tractor-trailer traffic.
Okay, then. I just wanted to get an idea as to what the financial structure looked like. Yeah, any other questions? And if not, is there a motion for us to adjourn? Any motion?
Motion to adjourn, Mayor.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Third. Discussion, none heard. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, sound off. Not heard. Motion carries unanimously. We adjourn. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We appreciate your input. Bye-bye.
Thank you.